Hey everybody, so today I want to talk to you guys about, for those of you who have concerns about a little bit of leakage here and now, and you're finding yourself looking for the bathroom every chance you get because you're afraid of the leaks that you have. Urinary frequency or urinary incontinence is what that is. Some of us also have what's called organ prolapse. So you can have a rectocele and you can have a cystocele. Cystocele is when your bladder and your ovaries fall down enough to where it falls out of your vajayjay, especially when you're pooping, when you're bearing down, when you're heavy lifting, like when you're a fitness guru and you're lifting all those heavy weights. And it's called a Valsalva maneuver, where you hold your breath and you pick something up. Some of us did it with big babies when our kids were growing up. Some of us just have it from giving birth, because if you're like me, I had over 10 hours of labor. There was a lot of pushing, and when you push like that, there's a lot of prolapse that happens. But our body's miraculous. The more attention we give it, we're able to pull up and tuck it back up. But the problem is, doctors just send us home after delivery and tell us, go do your kegels. And what I found was that women are not good about asking for help in this arena because it's embarrassing. I've had athletic runners after giving birth have fecal incontinence to where she would go for a run. She would just poop in her pants and she'd stink, and it would be super embarrassing to a point where she broke down in tears. Some of us have pads on all the time. It's like diaper, because whenever we laugh or whenever we do high intensity exercise or we cough, we leak, and that's not okay. And it's something that we can fix. And since giving birth to my first child, which is over 2 decades ago, I got really intrigued by it. So I went into what's called women's health physical therapy. Pelvic floor work was a lot of what we did. I worked with a lot of pessary placements, worked closely with OB-GYNs to figure out how to manage patients to get their function back and getting their kegels to do the right things through biofeedback mechanisms, using my vaginal electrodes and stimulators to make sure that they are actually learning to properly pull up and in, doing the proper kegel as opposed to bearing down. And what I found during that time was a lot of women were actually bearing down. And some of us, because of certain procedures that we had, we get a lot of patients who had cysts in their ovaries, who's had lots of surgical stuff going on here, and that causes a lot of tightening because it's your body's natural physiological response to spasm up. Or sometimes inhibition happens, or a lot of the times the vaginal tissues get really, really hyperactive to a point where some of my women weren't even able to have intercourse with their loved one or with their husbands. And so it would be a couples thing in that case. I learned through my practice, it was a lot of interpersonal and psychological things, not to mention all the hormonal changes that we go through postpartum and beyond, well into perimenopause and menopause. Things go right down there. I've even had 60s and 70-year-old patients come in with their private parts hanging out of them like scrotum. And those things are really super duper embarrassing. And if you look up on the online, there's many different options for us, one of them being surgery. And what I found recently is that a lot of the OB-GYN doctor practices are having their own biofeedback mechanism where they do put electrodes in women to teach them how to properly do the kegels. What I focus on a lot is the functional ability for my women to go above and beyond the kegel, to do all the exercises and all the things that they can do in their lives and thrive. in order to do that, you have to really understand the pelvic floor work. And so I'm gonna say it again, and I say this all the time because pelvic floor work and core work, diastasis recti, and gut issues go all hand in hand. Why? Because the structure of your body matters and the foundation matters, and you likely are not properly activating your core musculature to help you to optimize all your bodily functions, because core is where it's our solar plexus and it's where our gut is, right? In this cavity right here. It's directed by what's called a autonomic nervous system, which is automatic. It's not voluntarily controlled. We don't say, go digest this piece of bread that I just ate, or go digest this little pizza that I had last night, or I had a little bit of alcohol body, so go ahead and detoxify, please. Our liver, our gut, our kidneys, all the organs, our heart, it just does what it does. And if you sit here for a moment, when was the last time you thought about your breath? It just knows how to breathe. It's just supportive. That's autonomic control. And a lot of us are not aware of the fact that the external stress that we carry, from the shame that we carry from all of the aforementioned things like prolapse, urinary incontinence, and all the little mishaps and inability to have sex with or intercourse with your spouse, things like that cause us to have a lot of mental stress. And that affects us holistically, as in it affects our self-worth, confidence, our health, our gut health, and everything else. So I just want to start to tie it all in together for you to provide you with the broader picture perspective when we're doing the work, so you know exactly why you're doing this work, why I'm emphasizing these things. So as you're sitting here right now with me, I'm cross-legged. This is called easy pose, right? Sitting nice and tall. My spine is upright. So I want you to see if you can imagine you having the urge to pee or go to the bathroom, but there is no bathroom. So you're having to pull up and in and hold that. And when you do, I want you to see if, when you do you or can you bring the sit bones in together as you contract up and in. I don't know if you see it, but as I'm doing the kegel, you can see me going up and down because my gluteals are contracting. And I think I'm doing my kegels, but guess what? It's my glutes. It's an overflow of the muscles. So our bodies work that way. When we're weak in one area, we have an overflow where the bigger muscles kick in. It's almost like I want to lift something up from, or I want to lift a baby from the floor. When we lift, using our arm muscles only will only cause strain and injury to our shoulders. But when we can engage our core, squat down low enough, push down through our legs to activate and pick her up, it becomes breezy and easy, right? And that's a very coordinated way to move. And that's what I want you to start to think about, is to integrate your body in a way where using your core and pulling up and in, because your pelvic floor is part of your core musculature, right? Pelvic floor, diaphragm up at the top, pelvic floor at the bottom. And then there's a transversus abdominis, the deepest layer of the abdominal muscle. And then the back, multifidi, which is the deepest layer muscle of the spine. Those are what's really supportive of our posture. That's really the essence and the foundation of your house. So you really need to learn to activate them properly. So with that in mind, I want you to come onto the backs on your mat or wherever you are. Go ahead and lie down on your back. And I want you to bring your feet shoulder width apart. And then I just want you to start to arch your back and tilt your spine up or pelvis up. Exhale, flatten the low back. Inhale up. Exhale, flatten the low back. Inhale up and exhale. The only caveat is that as you have your thumb under the rib cage and the index finger on top of your pelvis, upon inhalation, you feel those distance get further, and then exhale, rib cage draws in. As the pelvis shifts back, you can feel under your ribs, there's definitely tone and muscles there supporting you. Inhale and exhale. And on inhalation, think about relaxation of your pelvic floor and your diaphragm to expand. And then exhale, pelvic floor and diaphragm contracts to make that cavity in your chest, in your lungs smaller. Inhale deep. Exhale and blow the air out like you're blowing out a candle. Or no, I'm sorry, fogging a mirror. Blowing out a candle is not what I want you to do. That doesn't give me anything in my core. In my Pilates practice, my patients and clients used to say, I sound like Darth Vader. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And see if you can really pull up the pelvic floor, like, oh, I have to hold. I don't have a bathroom in sight. Inhale and exhale, pulling up that pelvic floor. I want you to lock that in. For this next one, I want you to place a ball or a little cushion between your knees. You can easily get like a ball at a dollar store and place it between your knees. Just make sure it's not too big. And I want you to find your feet, find the backs of your arms. You're gonna inhale. Exhale, squeeze those knees and pick up the pelvic floor and pull up the pelvic floor. Like up and in, and flatten the tummy. Exhale down. Inhale and exhale, lift. Squeeze, squeeze. Make sure you're not overfiring your glutes. You're pulling up and in. It's all about that pelvic floor. Relax your shoulders. Inhale and exhale. And inhale, you're pushing down on your legs. And as you pull up the pelvic floor, I want you to squeeze the ball between your knees. Because when you activate the adductors, okay, the inner thigh muscles, as you do this, by virtue of fascial attachments into your vaginal muscles, it activates those muscles. Inhale, exhale, lift. And inhale, we're gonna lengthen that lift for the count of 5. Exhale, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Doing the kegel, but we're holding it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down, relax. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze that ball. 5, 4, 3, 2, flattening the low back or the belly and back. Inhale and exhale, squeeze, 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 pull up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. Inhale and exhale, squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. And we're gonna take a little break, but I want you to see and comment below and let me know that, wow, I do feel it. And if you don't feel it, please DM me so I can figure out a better way. I have, typically in my practice, a vaginal electrode connected to a computer screen that allows me to read how effectively you are contracting your pelvic floor. So here, as you lay here, I want you to focus on that pelvic floor, and I'm gonna place this ball between my knees again, and I'm gonna relax, inhale, and then I'm gonna exhale, Darth Vader, flattening my abdomen. Pull up the pelvic floor as if I'm holding a pea. I'm holding it up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold and release. Inhale and exhale. Squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release. So we're extending the time, right? Squeezing the belly. Squeeze. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Oh my gosh, I have to go. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Release. Inhale and exhale. Squeeze. Pull up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Again, squeeze up and in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. And again, squeeze. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. 2 more. Squeeze. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. And squeeze, squeeze. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. So roll over to the right side and sit up. One last thing we'll finish with. I call this the elevator exercise. So you're sitting nice and tall in the easy seated position, or you can be sitting on a chair with feet flat on the floor. You should feel the pelvic floor in contact with the mat, and I want you to pull up and in. So we're gonna do, let's say there's 5 floors on an elevator. We're gonna go 1 floor, first floor, 2nd floor, 3rd floor, 4th floor, and 5th floor, and give it all you got, and you're gonna hold it, and then we're gonna come down of the elevator. So 5th floor, 4th floor, 3rd floor, 2nd floor, and 1st floor. So as I guide you, I don't want you to go speed up and come right down, but I really want you to control how much you're going to squeeze. So let's say at best at 5, you're squeezed up all the way to where, oh my gosh, I can't do anymore. That's where I want you to modulate. Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Almost feel like you're so weak. And then let it go a little bit. 4, let it go a little more. 3, 2, and 1. I promise, so worth it. I want you to think about that and really control that pelvic floor. We're gonna do a few more times. Level 1, level 2, level 3, you really have to focus. Level 4, squeeze. Level 5, hold, hold, hold. Let's come down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And it's okay to feel so clumsy because it's gonna come with practice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. You know when you have gas and you know when you let that gas out, it'll be so good, but you can't? So it's almost like holding that gas in. You're like so scared it's gonna be like, but you're like, oh no, 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 no. And that's the feeling I want, like, but controlling that, right? Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold, and down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, and down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. By now you should feel like, ooh, I think it's gonna work. Even though at first it feels like you're not doing anything, I promise you guys, this is gonna be the thing. You have to focus on the thing, the weak part of you, so that we can get strong. So have confidence and faith in this process. I've been doing it for over 20 years. It works. Enjoy. DM me, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys soon.